I will give the opportunity to supervisors who've asked to speak, Supervisor Ritt and Supervisor Matano.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll keep my remarks very brief. I appreciate the comments from the university. I received some of the same comments from one of the leaders of the Alliance for Animals, and I fully expect that the researchers at the university will support the substitute that I'll introduce that'll indicate that there are potential gains. But as was stated by so many so articulately, there's a balancing test when determining the morality of animal experiments. How great is the gain? How certain is the gain? Versus how horrible is the suffering inflicted on the animals? How certain is that suffering? It's apocryphal to suggest that these monkeys are subjected to nothing more than what a child in a prenatal care facility would be subjected to. Leslie Hamilton read to you directly from the protocol, and there's great detail there about the suffering which is directly inflicted upon the animals. I wanted to read two items from the University of Wisconsin's letter. Because the monkey's biological response to stress is so similar to that of humans, peer-reared monkeys allow researchers to examine specific structures in the brain and specific chemicals that may be linked to anxiety disorders. And secondly, as a leading public institution, the primary role of the university is to tackle society's most pressing problems in the most ethical way as possible. Essentially, we have to balance the question, besides the gain versus the pain, we have to balance how much are they like us. And if they're too much like us, it's inherently unethical. If you couldn't perform this experiment on a human, you can't perform it on an animal if that animal is so like us that they are identical to us. Yet these experiments are only effective because these animals feel pain and anxiety the way we do. Therefore, I would second the motion of those who suggested that these experiments are inherently ethical and that it behooves the county board to speak out in that direction. And I'd also suggest that normal animal experimentation, I've come up with the analogy of, say, you're trying to find a cure for tuberculosis. So you inject an animal with something that causes them to contract that disease. You then test a drug on them that may cure tuberculosis. Here, there's a series of protocols that are just designed to make the animal's life essentially a living hell and then kill it. So I think that this category of experiments, whether or not the experimenters can distinguish these experiments from those of Harlow, I think that these experiments clearly fall below the line of what acceptable research is. So thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Matano. Supervisor Ritt,
In 10 seconds or less. I speak in favor of this resolution as well, and as so many people eloquently spoke today, I agree that these studies are unethical. I support the resolution to halt it. Thank you.